another MTG Casual Commander.
Hey there, I hope everybody's having a great day. This is Earl, and today we're going to open up an entire box of Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Now, I've had this box sitting around for quite some time now, and I know that Tarkir Dragonstorm is coming out this year, and I have a couple of proxies that I can't use, because in our play group, you can't use proxies unless you own the real card. So, I really want a Tiamat or Old Gnawbones out of here. I'd love to get both, but this is a 30 pack of set boosters. We were talking earlier this week about how we already missed set boosters, and set boosters were so much cooler than these play boosters, and they kind of gave you a little bit more of an option. But yeah, we were also talking about this Tarkir Dragonstorm coming out, and some of the cards we don't have that are dragons that we want, just in case they don't come out in the next set. I don't want to start there. Let's start on this side, and we'll just go all the way back. Is there anything that you guys would like out of this set? Let me know in the comments below. And again, 30 packs, Dungeons & Dragons, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Or, I'll make you a deal, if I get an Old Gnawbones and a Tiamat, I'll stop, and I'll give all the rest of the packs away. No problem. Minsk, Beloved Ranger. So yeah, Tiamat, Old Gnawbones, and the rest of this can go out. Those are really the only two cards I'm looking for in here. And yes, I could buy them for a lot cheaper, but why would you do that when you can have all the fun searching for them? And it gives me a chance to hang out with you guys. Iron Golem, Sphere of Annihilation. That's a pretty cool pull, if you don't know that card. Yeah, that's real cool pull. There's a lot that I didn't get out of this set. I bought this box when the set came out, and I have really just been sitting on it the whole time. But there's a couple dragons I want out of here, so it's also been staring at me for a long time. Got a goblin token to start off. Give that to Benny J for sure. Got Krydle. I'm not going to read through all these commons, but the uncommons we might not have seen for a while. Got blue dragons. These dragons were never that awesome. The ones that came out in the Baldur's Gate set were amazing. This guy is awesome. Xanathar, Guild Kingpin. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent. Until the end of turn, that player can't cast spells. You can look at the top card of their library at any time. You may play the top card of their library, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast spells this way. This guy is really cool. He can change a game. I know a lot of people that loved this set didn't really like the Baldur's Gate set, and vice versa. I kind of liked both of the sets. This kind of stuff is right up my alley. Purple worm, it's green. And there's the red dragon. Again, those are okay, but they're not really what we're looking for. Werewolf Pack Leader. Whenever Werewolf Pack Leader attacks, if you attacked with creatures total power 6 or greater this combat, draw a card. Alright, and it's a 3/3 for 2 green, so that's not so bad. Demigorgon's Clutches, and a Canyon Jerboa. gonna keep on going, looking for that Tiamat. And Old Gnawbones. I would love to pull those in the next, 2 or 3 packs and give all the rest of these away. Flame Skull, that must have been, oh, that's just the back of an art card. Gotcha. Swamp. Pig's Guide. We'll go real fast through these. Rose Troll, Grim Wanderer, Tiger Tribe Hunter, and a Dancing Sword. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. When an equipped creature dies, you may have Dancing Sword become a 2/1 construct with flying and ward 1. If you do, it isn't an equipment. And equip 1. That's not bad. It's not really good either, but come on, dragons. Swamp. Why don't we do this? The first person that leaves a comment on this video, if there are any packs left over, I'll give you a couple packs for sure. Maybe we'll come up with a couple different ways to give away packs if I have my Old Gnawbones and my new Tiamat to go in my dragon deck. We got Sorcerer's Class. All right, that's not the pull we were looking for. That is not the pull we were looking for. Art card. Got a Javelin here. I'm just excited even for spoiler season. There we go. That is a big, nice mythic dragon. Not the one I'm looking for. Imarith Desert Doom has ward 4 as long as it's untapped. Whenever Imarith deals damage to a player, draw a card. Then if you have fewer than 3 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. So a dragon that'll keep you with at least 3 cards in your hand. That's a cool pull, but man, not what I'm looking for. Come on, Old Gnawbones. Come on, Tiamat. Are there any other things that I should be looking for in here? Anything that maybe I looked over or missed? Let me know in the comments. And we'll take a look at what I end up with. I'm thinking I'm going to pull both of those dragons out of this box. And then I don't need to worry about it. We can just give these right away. Neverwinter Dryad, Jaded Sellsword, Dragon's Fire, Mordenkainen's Polymorph, Druid Class. Is there a set that you would like to go back to and pull? We got an Eye of Vecna. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card, then you lose 2 life. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 2. If you do, you draw a card and you lose 2 life. You will damage yourself, but get some extra cards in your hand. You never know, it might save the day. Here we go. Do you remember what we were looking for still? Blink Dog. It wasn't a Blink Dog. Goblin Captain. Gelatinous Cube. It has Engulf. When Gelatinous Cube enters the battlefield, exile target non-ooze creature an opponent controls. That's pretty specific. Until Gelatinous Ooze leaves the battlefield. And it's got Dissolve. You can pay black and X and put a target creature card with mana value X exiled with Gelatinous Cube into its owner's graveyard. There you go. And a double rare on this one. Hall of the Storm Giants. If you control 2 or more other lands, Hall of the Storm Giants enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap to add a blue, and you can also make it a 7/7 blue giant with Ward 3. Kind of crazy. And that was a double rare pack, but still no Old Gnawbones, and still no Tiamat. You know, if Savannah Lion was here opening this pack for me, I bet you we would have both already. I'm just not that lucky. That's a Demi Lich, alright. Direwolf Prowler. And if you noticed, we have different sound tonight and definitely different lighting. We are not in the studio. Our studio is closed down for this weekend. And so I am opening up all these in the comfort of my own home. We got Skullport Merchant. Yeah, definitely I can tell the difference in the sound. Teleportation Circle. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 target artifact or creature you control. Then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. This is amazing for blink decks, stuff with lots of enter the battlefield triggers. This is a really cool enchantment. Okay, that looks cool. Priest of Ancient Lore, but it's not that cool. And it's definitely not Old Gnawbones or Tiamat. We're almost 1/3 through this. I don't know, guys. I thought we'd have them by now. But maybe it wasn't that good of a pull rate on those cards. I don't know. Arborea Pegasus, Planar Ally. This had that enter into the dungeon mechanic, and I know a lot of people didn't like that. I wasn't a big fan of that. Any of the side game stuff, even with the newer sets that are coming out, start your engines and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of those side games inside of Magic. There we go. That's a card you would want if you were playing a bunch of dungeon stuff. Flame Skull. Flame Skull can't block. He's got Rejuvenation. When Flame Skull dies, exile it. If you do, exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play one of those cards. It's a skeleton. Man, I wish it was a rogue as well. But I guess a rogue head doesn't make as much sense as a skeleton head. Let's continue on here. Come on. I really want one of those Old Gnawbones. Now I'm starting to think it's not great chances that we get both of them. I was hoping we would right away. Evolving Wilds. Got those cards that look kind of like the Dungeons and Dragons books in here. There are some pretty cool uncommons, definitely usable uncommons in this set. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until that player has exiled cards with a total mana value of 20 or more. So definitely punish the people that play all the tiny spells. Real cool. Another Imarith, Desert Doom. We already got him. Come on, man. That's not what we were looking for. And a third rare in this pack, Nadar, Selfless Paladin. It's a Dragon Knight. Vigilance. When Nadar, Selfless Paladin, enters the battlefield or attacks, venture into the dungeon. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 as long as you've completed a dungeon. It's actually pretty cool. And a dungeon card. I think you guys aren't helping me with this luck here. I need a little luck. Throw me some luck. Throw me some luck so I can pull my cards and send some out to everybody when I win. Noel Hunter, Half Elk Monk, we go. Forsworn Paladin. Pay 2, tap, pay 1 life. Create a treasure token. It's got Menace, a 1/1 Menace, and target creature gets +2/+0 until the end of turn. If mana from a treasure was spent to activate this ability, that creature also gains Death Touch. And there it is, Human Knight. Looks pretty dark to be a Human Knight. Dark armor. And a Fire Mane Angel. That's a list card, flying first strike 4/3. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Fire Mane Angel is in your graveyard or in play, you may gain 1 life, and you can pay all of that mana, 10 mana, to return Fire Mane Angel from your graveyard to play. Play this ability only during your upkeep. So that is a lot of mana for a 4/3. I just have to say, I would think you could cheat it in a lot easier. You know, Reanimate only costs 2. There we go. Maybe they're gonna give us the Old Gnawbones here. That's a weird looking purple worm. Purple worm sounds bad anyway. There we go. Hit. The treasure chest. And that does a whole lot of things based on if you roll a die. We won't get into all of that. That's a whole lot of words. And I value your time. So, trying to pull through this as quick as possible today. There we go. Some of these packs have the double glue on there. There we go. Try and open that without damaging the cards anyway. Alright, could this be the pack? Could this be the pack we've been waiting for? The Hall of Storm Giants. That's land, and it's in the D&D art. Again, this will turn into a 7/7 blue giant. And we're getting some dupes in here. That's so sad. We have a enchanted mana ramper enchantment. Those are always good. It's always good to get as much mana as you can as fast as you can. Same thing with card draw. Too much card draw is never too bad unless it's way too much from like a group hug player. But I even welcome that. So there we go, Boulette. Wilds. Always a good land if you've got a 5-color deck. If you need to go search for a basic real quick. Wish. You may play a card you own from outside the game this turn for 3. That's almost seems like an uncard. Maybe I'll use that because it's freaking hilarious. And a Paladin class. Spells your opponents cast during your turn cost 1 more to cast. You can pay 3 and get it to level 2, and then creatures you control also get +1/+1. And for level 3, you pay 5 in total. And whenever you attack until the end of turn, target attacking creature gets +1/+1 for each other attacking creature and gains double strike. So this is actually really powerful. You got to pay into it a little bit, but when you do, the payoff is huge. Gretchen Tithwillow. That looks pretty cool in that kind of art. Watch if I get one of the cards I'm searching for even, and it's in like a crazy art that I don't like. Oh man, what are we gonna do? It's making me anxious. There we go. Looks familiar. We just pulled her. Bag of Holding. Ingenious Smith. Another Bag of Holding. Hive of the Eyed Tyrant. This one will turn into a 3/3 Beholder. And if you control 2 or more other lands, Hive of the Eyed Tyrant enters the battlefield tapped. So it's one that you want to play early. if you can, and that way it comes in untapped and you can get that black mana right away. I think they've printed out enough lands that come in untapped or have a chance to come in untapped that if you have an option, I would not put any land that comes into the battlefield tapped in your deck unless it does something really, really cool. Swamp. I play Bojuka Bog. I do like that. It will come in tapped, but then you get to get rid of somebody's graveyard under Dark Basilisk. I do like that. That's pretty awesome. Here's Longbow. And a ranger to go with it. Oop. What do we get? Another plate armor. Bruner Battle Hammer. Choose your weapon. Find a path. Rogue class. And this one is a lot like the Paladin class where you just level it up. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library face down. You may look at it for as long as it remains exiled, which is funny because you can keep showing the other player that you're looking at their card. You can't really do anything with it at this point, but level 2 is creatures you control have menace, and level 3 is you may play cards exiled with this, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those spells. So this is actually really cool in a black Steal Your Stuff deck, and it just adds a little extra layer of salt to the people that can't stand to play against that. Gatekeeper Malakir. I used to use this guy all the time in my vampire deck, and I really haven't played my vampire deck very often since then. I feel like I chose Olivia for my commander, and it worked exactly like it should, but it's just so predictable, and you know, I'm gonna run into a mana drain combo and then somebody's just toast. And I don't know, I think once the decks get that predictable, it's just, you don't play them as much. Baleful Beholder, that card looks amazing. Common 6/5. Cult Elemental. We're just gonna spin right through these. A black dragon, a white dragon, Dragon's Disciple, Human Monk, and Aberia Pegasus again. Hobgoblin Bandit Lord. Other goblins you control get +1/+1. Hobgoblin Bandit Lord deals damage equal to the number of goblins that entered the battlefield under your control this turn to any target. So this guy's really going to be cool with Krankos and any of those creatures that pop out a whole lot. I got an Ellie Wick Tumblestrum. Venture into the dungeon is her first ability up, so that automatically tells me I probably won't put her in my deck, but I just don't like having to pull out those extra cards to play a game where I already bring 100 cards to. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. If it's legendary, gain 3 life. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And -7, that big ability, you get an emblem with creatures you control have trample, haste, and get +2/+2 for each differently named dungeon you've completed. So then you go on a race to complete all the dungeons and make those creatures huge. She's pretty cool. But again, I don't see a way that I would need her. Unblockable, hexproof, you can't really beat that for 2. You can pump this guy up and man, just go to town. That is automatic damage for a while. I think I'm gonna throw him in with my rares. And this might be, you know, I always do pretty good on these unboxings. Maybe I shouldn't have named which cards I really was looking for. I think the box hurt it, but at the same time, I've been looking at this box for probably a year and a half or 2 years, maybe even 3, just thinking, I know my cards are in there. What if they weren't? What if they weren't the whole time? It's making me really anxious. Temple of the Dragon Queen, Green Dragon. Okay, we officially got all of 5 of the uncommon dragons from this set. Power Word Kill. That's kind of cool, but those are 4 pretty common types of creatures, so sometimes you just can't use this when you need it. Instrument of the Bards. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a harmony counter on Instrument of the Bards. Search your library for a creature card, mana value equal to the number of harmony counters on Instrument of the Bards. Reveal it and put it into your hand. If that card's legendary, create a treasure token, then shuffle. Okay. Ranger's Hawk. And a Gutter Snipe. There you go. Whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery, Gutter Snipe deals 2 damage to each opponent. This is also a very good list card to pull. And it does infinite combo with a lot of stuff. So you gotta be careful if your playgroup doesn't like that. And yeah, I'd be really interested to know if you could just get one of the old sets, a little bit older out of print sets, set boosters, what would you get? If it was one of the set booster sets, what would be the first go-to that you would think of that would just be like, oh yeah, I still need a couple cards out of that set? This was it for me, and I spent so much money on the Baldur's Gate one. I bought 3 boxes and didn't get any of the dragons. I still had to go and buy the dragons in foil after the fact, so that was a real bummer. And then this one I just didn't open much of, but I know that I wanted those 2 dragons out of here, so I want to do that before Tarkir Dragonstorm comes out. And a dragon turtle, that's not what we're looking for. And a pixie guide. My goodness. My goodness, my goodness. Alright, we're down to the last third. Now I'm thinking this is not gonna happen today. But you know what they say. If you keep it sealed, it's always gonna be worth more. I'm not really worried about that. We got a couple more boxes sitting around that we're going to do giveaways or prizes for, and those are just staring me in the face all of the time. Juan T. Malison. Juan T. Malison can't be blocked as though as long as it's attacking alone. Whenever Juan T. Malison deals combat damage to a player, venture into the dungeon. And whatever, that's not a dragon. Or an Old Gnawbones. Gosh, if I could just have one of them, I think at this point I'd be happy. And I wonder what the pull ratio is on those, or if I'm just that unlucky. That would make me feel bad if I was that unlucky. Skullport Merchant. Long Rest. Return X target creatures with different mana values from your graveyard to your hand. If 8 or more cards are returned to your hand this way, your life total becomes equal to your starting life total and exile Long Rest. That would be a silly card to put in my green Omnath deck. But I feel like I might get caught up on that. I always pull those cards early game and then I don't. I draw those cards early game and then I don't want to use them. And they just sit as a dead card in my hand. A Lolth. There's a little Spider Queen emblem. Oyster Gargoyle, Bull Strength. Tavern, Grim Wanderer, Hama Pashar. Brazen Dwarf, Soul Knife Spy. Nadar, Selfless Paladin again. That's a lot of dupes. Air Cult Elemental. Dashner, if you're watching, man, this might be your worst box yet. I haven't seen a whole lot that I'm too excited about. And I've had a lot of people got a lot of really good pulls when they were opening this. Maybe it's just not my day. There's a Westgate Regent. He's a cool vampire. Flying, ward, discard a card. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, put that many 1/1 counters on it. So if you can hit him every time, it doubles its size every time and becomes a pretty big threat. Adult Gold Dragon. Flying, lifelink, haste. Probably shouldn't have been a rare, but it was, and we found it. If only we could get the 5-headed dragon, or the big green dragon that gives all that gold out. Unicorns. True Polymorph. Target artifact or creature becomes a copy of another target artifact or creature. This is a good way to turn somebody's Blightsteel Colossus into a, I don't know, mana rock. And then it gets rid of all that indestructible and infect and gross stuff. And Stony Brook Schoolmaster. When it becomes tapped, you may put a 1/1 blue merfolk wizard creature token into the battlefield. And if you can find a way to untap it, you can go infinite with that little list card right there. Usually abilities like that are just, you see them and you just know, okay, that's gonna accidentally do something real nasty one day. Come on, baby. Asmodeus the Archfiend. You know, it is a devil god, and it's got binding contract. If you would draw a card, exile the top card of your library face down instead. You can pay 3 to draw 7 cards, and you can return all cards exiled with Asmodeus the Archfiend to their owner's hand, and you lose that much life. Ouch. That is actually really crazy, but it works well with cards like Lich's Mastery, where your life total can't change or you can't lose life. So you get all the other stuff and then you can't lose the life at the end. Skeletal Swarming. Each skeleton you control has trample, attacks each turn of combat if able, gets +X+0, where X is the number of other skeletons you control, and at the beginning of your end step, create a tapped 1/1 black skeleton creature token. If a creature died this turn, create 2 of those tokens instead. So that is actually a must-have if you're making a Golgari skeleton deck. No doubt about it. Really cool card. Probably not worth very much. And our list card is Chemister's Insight. Draw 2 cards, and it has Jumpstart. So you can cast it from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other cost. Then you got to exile it. So that is the downside, but really cool draw card. I got 3 packs left, I think. Yeah, three packs left to find this Tiamat and Old Gnawbones. Wish me luck, guys. If anybody needs either of those duplicates I pulled, let me know that in the comments below too. Hulking Bugbear, Paladin Shield, +2 Mace, Warforged Champion, Seshura Death's Whisper. Yeah, let's get through these last 3 packs and hopefully get one of those cards. The Book of Vile Darkness. At the beginning of your end step, if you lost 2 or more life this turn, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Exile the Book of Vile Darkness and artifacts you control named Eye of Vecna and Hand of Vecna, and create Vecna, a legendary 8/8 black zombie god creature token with Indestructible. It gains all triggered abilities of all the exiled cards. That is crazy. If you know anybody that pulls that off on a regular basis, let me know. That's insane. Loyal Warhound, a dog, a 3/1 dog with vigilance, and when he enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than you, search your library for a basic plains card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. And we are officially down to 3 packs left. 1, 2, 3. I'm scared. I'm scared that there's no Tiamat in here. No Tiamat for me. No Old Gnawbones for me. Maybe it's fate for me to never have those. That's Mordenkainen, I think. Hey, there we go. Look at that. I got a memory like you wouldn't believe. Mountain, Owlbear, Leather Armor, Great Axe, Armory Veteran, Monk of the Open Hand, Rally Maneuver, Lurking Roper, Temple of the Dragon Queen again, Den of the Bugbear, a Minion of the Mighty. It's a Kobold, Menace, Pack Tactics. Whenever Minion of the Mighty attacks, if you attacked with creatures total power 6 or greater this combat, you may put a dragon creature card from your hand on the battlefield tapped and attacking. And he's a 0/1 for 1 with Menace. He might actually go in my dragon deck because he is more helpful than a couple of the dragons that I do have in there. Because I'm not thinking that we got an Old Gnawbones or a Tiamat anymore. It was my hope, but that is the whole part of cracking the packs. That is the adventure. When you do find what you're looking for, it means so much more than just walking into a store and handing somebody $20. It's a Speed, Dueling Rapier, Hobgoblin Captain, Cleric Class, Moon Balance, Moon Blessed Cleric, Barwin of Clan Endure, Oswald Fiddlebender. What the heck? He's got magical thinking. You pay 1 and tap it. Sacrifice an artifact. Search your library for an artifact card with mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrificed artifact's mana value. Put it into the battlefield, then shuffle. And you can activate that only as a sorcery. Definitely not an Old Gnawbone or a Tiamat. Steadfast Paladin. Oh man, you guys might see me cry today, right here. No, I won't cry, but dang, I had really high hopes, I guess. It wasn't like that. And then the last pack is going to be so crazy to get open. It's like this box just came right up and kicked me right in the junk. Dash is probably laughing his butt off right now. I'll never ever hear the end of it. Forest. Ooh, Black Dragon. You ambushed on the road. The Demogorgons. Demogorgon. Quasi-Gorgon. Red Dragon. Ranger Class. Oh, man. That's something else. Well, guys, thank you so much for sitting here with me and just hanging out, watching me get kicked while I was down over and over again. I hope you have an actually super wonderful weekend, and I'm gonna have a super wonderful weekend too. We'll probably go over to Alex's and play some cards tomorrow night. But yeah, that was an entire box of Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. And we will see you on the battlefield. Oof.
Let the magic continue.